Yeah, here we go. Wait, ten.
Prescott with plenty of time. Lofts it, end zone. Jake Ferguson.
Let's go.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? It's your boy DMV back with another one. And guess what, man? My guy, as my guy Rome would say, the streets need this one, dog. Well, look, the streets need a body. We got the last time, so we got to get our get back. The streets need a body. So, like other Cowboy fans, other Cowboy content creators, my eyes were glued to the screen on Sunday watching this game, watching Philadelphia and San Fran, because we knew that there would be a well-awaited rematch, Sunday. So we knew we had a couple of days rest. So, of course, our eyes were glued to the TV, and my eyes were glued to the film to see exactly what it is that San Fran did to expose Philadelphia. So when I say expose, I mean they did some rule busters. You know what I'm saying? Richard Sherman talked about it a long time ago where Kyle Shanahan, there were some rule busters when he was with the Seahawks, and they had to, figure out, they had to change certain rules in order to adapt. It might be a little bit too late for that with Philadelphia. And, it's a copycat league. Once people figure out what those rules are, the rules are in place, then people are going to keep attacking those things, those weaknesses. And San Fran was able to, have some rule busters in this game. And I'm going to be able to break that down for you. So let's get to it. So there were three things specifically that the San Fran offense did throughout this game. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is the swing with, a lead block. So they're going to bring a guy in motion here. I think it's going to be McCaffrey. And they're going to have Debo, do a swing out of the backfield. So we're going to watch this again. Now they're going to have, behind that, they're going to bring a tight end drag with that. So, they created that, and then they had different variations of it. So look, now they have Debo in orbit motion, and they're going to do the swing again. And this is a common theme right here. They were able to pretty much attack these guys laterally with their motion, and Philadelphia had a hard time really lining up to it. And here you go. You see Kittle come across, chip Hassan Reddick, and then he gets out into a swing route. So it's another different variation. As I talked about it, lateral motion gave Philadelphia fits, and it held Reddick in check as far as being, honest about his pass rushing. He wasn't able to go upfield like you normally would see. Again, here's the swing with the lead block here, and they're going to get another chunk play out of this. So it was a common theme throughout. This is how they kept Reddick honest in order to, later on down the line, they're going to be able to attack the other side of the field. Debo in motion really just gave them trouble. That's the second portion of it. Him being in orbit motion allowed them to open up different things like this just drag route across the field with Kittle. Again, here he is again, orbit motion. They're going to do a play action. And on fourth down, they're able to complete that to Ayuk in the back of the end zone. San Fran, man, they were really crafty in their approach. I'm not sure exactly what it is they saw on tape, but they continued to do this type of orbit motion the entire game, and it gave Philadelphia fits. And the third thing they were able to do was really just attack the left side of the field. So I talked about the things that they did to keep Hassan Reddick honest on the other side, and then they really just ran away from him. So they're going to use secondary motion here with Juszczyk to, seal that edge, and McCaffrey's going to get a chunk play on the ground. This is a Philadelphia team that is extremely hard to run against, so they had to scheme it up really well, and with motion, they were able to create overloads, and with that, Philadelphia, they had a hard time really adjusting. San Fran did a good job coming out of the huddle, not allowing them to line up the way that they want to. Again, this is them running right at them, running to the left side. So you're going to see Kittle motion over. Then they do a secondary motion to create that overload. He's going to slice the backside, and he's just going to run downhill. This is them just, lining up and running to the left side. But what you're going to see is they're lined up in the jumbo. I think it might be 12 or 13 personnel, and they're just going to motion laterally again, and they're just going to, line up and run right at him. 41 had a tough day. I think personally that's who they were going at in the run game. Here you see them do a push motion, and then they're just going to run to the left side here. Push motion was also something that they used out of the backfield to kind of spread them out, to widen them out. But they did it with secondary motion. So they did one motion, two motion, and then, McCaffrey's able to get up to that second level. This is them just lining up fast, not doing nothing, and just coming out and snapping it quick. And they're going to take advantage of the communication with the linebackers. Throughout the course of the game, you could just see that the linebackers had a tough time communicating. And San Fran did a very good job of tempo, of doing quick snaps, secondary motions. And they just took advantage of this linebacker core. This is them motioning Kittle over again, and then they're going to motion Juszczyk real quick, and then he's going to slice backside. And, they just found really crafty ways of getting Philadelphia aligned, or Philadelphia never really aligned to what they were doing. They couldn't because of how they timed up their motions. So Dallas is going to have to do things like this with Tony Pollard. And, Tony Pollard has a lot of the same capabilities that McCaffrey does. He's not the same player, but they can possibly get him in space, like they do right here. But here, with that motion, they were able to tell that they were in man. You're going to see later on where he's going to beat the guy up the rail with the wheel route. But here, look, they got the push motion out of the backfield. And then they know that they're in man because Roby has to get McCaffrey, and they're able to complete the slant right over the middle. Lateral motion gave these guys fits, man. You see Juszczyk do a short motion here. They're going to do a deep end with the slant behind it, miss the tackle, and then Debo's off to the races. They were able to do anything they wanted to do. There were times that they just kind of called whatever came out of the huddle, just like this right here. Like, this is a heat check right here. I think that somebody said that on one of their videos. I think it was Tuck. This was really just a heat check. Like, we can do whatever we want on them. Let's just see if we can get this wheel up here. He threw it before he even ran the wheel, and they got the matchup that they wanted, 41. He was a duck out there. Now, let's look on the defensive side of the ball. 49ers were able to do some unique things up front. They were able to have some interior spies. I think for the most part, from what I was able to gather, I think Hargrave was an interior spy for them. But they didn't rush too far upfield. They kind of kept him right in front of them. The only way that Hurts could get out of things was if he were to go backwards. And they were able to, he pretty much was one read in this game. So whenever the rush got a little bit close to him, he was often backing up or he would, look to take off instead of really just going through his whole progressions. The linebackers did a great job of getting depth throughout this whole game. This was a 3rd and long right here, and I'm going to show you why that was beneficial, why they had to be disciplined, because when they weren't disciplined, Philadelphia was able to get a screen out on the 3rd and long. They didn't make the tackles, and Devontae Smith makes a big play. But back to some of the rules that they had. So you look at the defensive ends. They come in. Now, look, Hargrave is the spy. If he gets out of the pocket, he's running flat at him, right at him. There were some times that Jalen Hurts did make these throws, but for the most part, San Fran was very, very sound on the back end. A lot of it had to do with their linebackers getting proper depth. And I also understand that Greenlaw and Fred Warner are the best duo in the league when it comes to linebackers. You're going to see it on this play when we go to the wide angle. They do an excellent job of keeping him corralled in as far as the ends go. And he ain't trying to go in the middle where Warner is. Warner sees it, and he fills the gap immediately. And they have to take a loss on that play. Like, look at the defensive ends not getting too far upfield. They do the same thing again. Hargrave comes flat. He's the spy. So they don't use a linebacker or a safety as a spy. They use their interior defensive guy who understands the Philadelphia Eagles probably better than anybody would, being that he was over there. So he did an excellent job chasing Hurts off his spot all night and making it really, really tough on him. Another thing that these linebackers did very, very well was, like I said, they got depth, but when it was time to drive down, they made the plays. And you're going to see it here again. The linebackers get excellent depth, taking away any easy reads. And when he does, he either has to, try and force it deep, or, if he had to do the check down, they were in position to have angles and make tackles. So San Fran did a very good job. They knew their opponent better than anybody. You could tell that they really took this game serious. The game plan was phenomenal on both sides of the ball, and they really just dominated this game. Now, some of the things that I think Dallas can, take from this game and copy is I think that they can use some of that push motion out of the backfield to kind of open their guys up. I think that the motion would be a good thing to do to kind of help Terrence Steele, because last time we looked, Hassan Reddick really took his lunch money. So we're going to have to do some things to help Terrence Steele over there. Like I pointed out before, bunch formations, secondary motions. As you can see, they had Debo do some orbit motions. We can do that with Tony Pollard and maybe having Rico in the backfield a little bit. We could use Hunter Lepke a little bit, as you can see, with motion. And he's an excellent lead blocker. We can definitely take that swing and that lead block. You know what I'm saying? We could definitely take some of those concepts and run with that. But from what I learned from that game is that 41 is not good. 33 is not good. 32 is not good. We already knew 24 ain't good. But when you have that many ducks on that side of the ball, 55 ain't really that good. The right side of their defense ain't really that good. If Hassan Reddick isn't getting home, they don't have a shot in hell to stopping anybody. That's really what I learned from this game. We knew that anyway, but it really pointed that out. And Dallas can take some of the momentum that they have right now with the offense and the command that Dak has and take advantage of some of the things that San Francisco did. So I appreciate y'all for stopping by, man. Had to get this out for the streets. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. And I'm out. Peace.